And it's good for everyone concerned. So, but it is necessary to reach freedom. You will have to identify that you are not getting what you need. I have come to the conclusion after having worked with many, 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 many couples that people do not stay where they are not getting what they need. If you're not getting what you need, if you're not getting the attention that you need, if you're not getting the respect that you need, if you're not getting what you need, and it's true in my own life, you drift away. Like sometimes you drift away on purpose. Sometimes you gather up everything and throw it on the fireplace. Sometimes you're like, I didn't mean to drift away. I'll still do what I said, but no thank you, I don't want this anymore. Because it sometimes is not satisfying the freedom that's needed, because another person's inability to see your value extracts from you the levels of freedom that you could have with someone who did. Ounce by ounce. You know, when a person appreciates you, a person has value for you, a person speaks to you appropriately, they give you consideration, there's freedom in that. When that doesn't happen, that is the levels of enslavement that you have allowed yourself to experience. And it is my experience that people don't stay with that. Or if they do, their body may be there, but their mind might be somewhere else.
Yeah. Mine might be looking out the window, dreaming of greener pastures.
Welcome to Call for the Truth. I'm LaOta of the Sun, and this is Tarvars of the Sun, and we welcome you to our conversation today. We'll be talking about freedom. But before we do, Tarvars, will you bring us into the truth?
Most certainly. We encourage you all to join us within calling forth the frequency of truth. Shall we call forth the frequency of truth? Shall we call to see the truth in all that we see? Shall we call to hear the truth in all that we hear? Shall we call to speak the truth? Shall we call forth the courage to speak the truth? Shall we call forth nothing less to come forward into our experience? And we are in the truth.
Well, thank you so much for bringing us into the truth.
Speaking of the truth, call for the truth card today is freedom. Sacral Chakra, and the Maxim reads, no one ever became free without sacrifice.
Well, that is so the truth. What does the book say?
You like, look, that call for the truth card is the truth.
Yes.
We're going to tell you how much this is the truth, but the book further states we must lay on the altar that which enslaves us. And so, we're dealing with enslavement.
Yeah.
We're dealing with, and then also through the lens of the sacral. So this could be relationships, things that we are in. Relationships is very broad. We're all often talking about relationships, but this is broad. This could be a relationship with certain habits, institutions, belief systems, things that you're giving energy to. There's some type of exchange, or maybe there isn't an exchange. Maybe there's just a siphoning.
Yes.
And you're like, yeah, I thought this was better than what I, you know. And so where do you want to start with this? Because the thing that jumps out to me is sacrifice. And we'll be right back after this brief message. A word from our sponsors. Okay. All right, we're back. Sacrifice. Becoming free without sacrifice is not a thing. How is that so? So would you explain that? Because sometimes when people hear the word sacrifice, it could be a little triggering. I think language in general is odd because we're sometimes coming with different understandings due to our backgrounds. But sacrifice, would you speak on this?
Yeah, it's very true that the language often throws us off, but because it's not just the word, it's what we associate with the word. So when we say sacrifice, we think about maybe someone who becomes a nun. You know, they sacrifice their life because of their religion, or someone who goes to a mountaintop and lives in rags and, you know, doesn't participate in normal human activity. But in this case, it is more the idea of what it is that we value, that we have some affinity to, that we don't want to let go of, but the letting go of it will broaden us and give us more. So if freedom is what you get if you let go of the thing, what is the thing? So if we did this, and we talked about this in male and female relationships, sometimes the idea of growing into your own sovereignty, finding your own power, requires you to give up the idea that someone else will give you everything. So you lay on the fire, on the altar, this idea that you're going to give me everything, but I really know that I will need to earn it because I can't count on that as a strategy forever. That's not going to be something, you know, like my parents give me everything, but they're not going to be here my whole life. And so I have to put on the altar this idea that someone else will take care of me and I don't have to take care of myself. I can just exist. So we put that on the altar and it burns up. And then we have the opportunity to see what it is that we think about a thing, what we're willing to do with our life. So the sacrifice is not really a sacrifice. It's really an opportunity for exaltation.
I think that's so interesting. I'm going to go back to looking at what the thing really is that you are so-called sacrificing, what you think you're gaining. So this type of context is so good because from one position, you have a person who's dependent and they're cool with the dependency. But within that dynamic, the current held perspective is like, I like this and I don't want to let go. Letting it go is problematic for that person in that circumstance. But in the long run, it will come to bite them, so to say.
Yeah.
And so it's, from what you're saying, it's the held perception of whatever they think they're getting, which in this case is really a stunting of the growth.
Right.
You're really not allowed to flourish, and almost like a disconnect with the truth of reality itself.
Yes, but what they think they're getting is ease, comfort, not having to stress themselves. All of that is a psyop. You know, like you can comfort yourself right into not being able to walk. You can lose all of your forward motion and ability to be whatever it is you choose to be by doing nothing because someone else provides everything. So that's only appropriate when you're a baby. It's not really appropriate at any other time for someone to spoon feed you, change your diapers. Like if you take that into adulthood, you have done everyone a disservice. But if you're willing to grow, if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to explore your own ideas, it can take you wherever you want to go. And so it really isn't a sacrifice, but we use the word sacrifice because there's some affinity towards it that you want to hold on to. Like, I don't want to leave the person who pays my bills. I don't want to do that. I don't want to live in the house alone. I don't want to be responsible for, you know, my car. When I have somebody who, even though they don't treat me right, they take care of the rent. I hear that often. Like, I don't want to have to, I got a roof over my head. And it's like, but aren't you capable of putting a roof over your head? Would you be less compromised and stronger if you found your own way? And is your own way necessarily the alone? Maybe your own way is not alone. Maybe your own way is the perfect combined opportunity where somebody's not holding something over your head. maybe just moving away from your parents. Like you may have done that when you were a young person. Like
You know I did that. Unless you're speaking. The moment I had the opportunity, you all, I left. I remember it like it was yesterday, 2007. Just graduated. It was the end of high school. The month
like
after,
4 o'clock.
I left. But guess what? I didn't move that far away.
That's okay.
I was like a couple of streets down. But I left LaOta.
Well, I mean, it's really not about how far you move away. What did you sacrifice?
Oh, again, well, shoot.
The family unit?
Yeah, but for me in that moment, it was like what I was giving up didn't mean as much compared to what I was gaining, and so my perspective was different.
Yeah, so that's the idea of the sacrifice. Like we use this word loosely.
Yeah, because there was a sacrifice. I had to let go. I had to release it and burn it, but I was like, man, throw that on the fire. Burn that up. Any more in the pocket?
And then there's the sacrifice of having to pay your own bills or whatever shared.
Wasn't a sacrifice. I mean, relatively speaking. I was like,
Sounds like you were bouncing down the street.
look, I was working. I was like, how much I gotta pay? All right. Here's my account.
Yeah, so this is an example of how everything that we move towards that expands us is not really a sacrifice, but the idea of sacrifice is that you had to leave what that was comfortable, that did, sustain you, to go do something on your own. And then what happened? What happened? Did you grow up to be expanded?
I sure did. Doing great.
Yes.
I learned how to live with people amongst other humans. Did it quite successfully too.
Yes, you
Worked
get
out.
roommates, you have arrangements, you figure out how to navigate other people. That's expansion, that's growth.
Yeah.
And now you know how to navigate your family better.
Yeah. I like to look at it from another perspective because again, this was a very victorious way of engaging with sacrifice. Very exemplary of how this really deals with our perception, or the perception we're holding of the thing that we need to release. And so I'm looking at it from the flip side, because I know that there are things, just as much as I was able to release that experience and move into, and it didn't feel like a burden or the weight that a typical sacrifice would have from attachment. But I know that there are other things that did not feel that easy.
Yeah.
Like other habits and like smoking and things like that. It was more like, but this is doing something, and or like being in toxic relationships or partnerships where you like, I like her, but like, damn, this is crazy, but like, I don't want to let go. We've been together for a long time, but it's done. It's been done for like 2 years. Why are you still here? It's investment,
Sacrifice.
And having to sacrifice and let go to make room for something better, because that was occupying space and, again, whatever compartment of life.
This is so good because it gives us the opportunity to see the difference when you're completely in accord with letting go, and you're like, I'll pay whatever I have to pay, I got a job, I'll do it. And then you're in a relationship with a person and it's toxic, it's terrible, they're not saying nice things, you don't feel good, but you feel guilty, it's perception. So you linger, and then they may say bad things, or you may be influenced by what happens afterwards, but you lay it on the altar, which is a semi-sacrifice. It's like, I want to go, but I don't want them not to like me.
You put it on the altar, but there's nothing flammable. You don't got no match, you don't got no kerosene. You just take it to the altar, step back. Is this enough, universe? That's what it looks like to me in my mind's eye.
And I think that's what most people do. I think most people, the most valuable thing a person can have is another person. There is nothing more valuable than that. So we all ultimately understand that at some level. However, having another person who makes you suffer is equally as big. It is equally as problematic as the gift that it could be. So most times people, often because they're not ready to leave and the other person is ready to leave, or they're ready to leave and there's still lingering connections and friends, and like who gets custody of the friends and who gets custody of, the people that they all know and share experiences with. So there's a lot of that going on. But I think your first example of the sacrifice of leaving home, where it felt right, exact, and you were willing to pay the debt. Like that's where we want to get to in any relationship, where, that's the last time you're going to say that to me. I'm putting this on I got some flammable liquid. I'm about to burn this up and you may not see me again. That's the way that it should be if you're really ready. Otherwise, you're just kind of walking around in the church where the altar is, sitting in different pews. What does it look like from here?
Right. Is it smoking yet?
Yeah. So that's the difference between the idea of sacrifice. When you're really ready to shift and to change, as you were in the first scenario, it's a glory. You bouncing down the street on your way to your new experience. Yeah. That's how the sacrifice, that's how we need to release. Otherwise, we're tethered still.
So let's explore that a little bit more. Like, what is it that helps the person make that shift, where it's not as weighted of a sacrifice, or, well, excuse my language, not as weighted in terms of, gotta give this up to it. It's like, this is gonna make me greater. I'm letting this thing go, this thought pattern, this belief system, whatever the thing that isn't really given life. We were talking about the phoenix thing, and I love the example of the phoenix because it's the death and the rebirth, right?
Right.
Like through the ashes, the phoenix rises, and so like it's essentially the ashes and the whole chemical process with the flame to become something new. Like how do we change that weight? Because we mentioned again the attachment to the thing is what creates the weight.
It's interesting because it's in the scenario that I keep referring back to, your first scenario. You knew things would be better on the other side.
Oh, that grass was not only greener. There were flowers, LaOta. It was a field of flowers. There were monarchs.
Fluffy clouds above.
There were bees. There were trees billowing like this. Synchronistically.
So that's the reality. If you leave before you can see the benefit of the new future, if you can't picture how it will be, you will not be able to create that reality. Because it is what is in your mind is what will be in front of you.
So we would have to see that there is a greater reality than this. There is
and you don't
whatever
have to see
I got.
everything, but you need to see that it's better. Yeah. Otherwise, you're still tethered to the back. I can't tell you how many clients call me up for a soul clearing for them, and they talk about, but James won't do this, or Bobby won't do that, or Mark won't do this, and by the way, Mark doesn't think that. I'm like, Mark's not here. He didn't get a consultation with me.
For real.
And they're obsessed because they've separated, but they weren't ready. They hadn't envisioned a new future. They didn't see what life would look like without the person. So then they have to spend time separating themselves from it once they're separate, which is more difficult.
It's so interesting. We keep speaking about perception, and it brings to mind our third eye.
Yes.
Pineal, our brain, our outlook on life, because we are in the third eye chakra right now with light body. And although this is the sacral, thinking about how whatever's happening down here, toxicity, when I think about the idea of sacrifice and these connections and these bonds, for some reason I'm thinking about like levels of addiction, or like the potential pleasure that we get, or like pleasure and detriment. where it's like not really pleasure, but like something other than that doesn't produce more life, and how that influences perception, like how all of that is moving up and influencing the outlook.
It's so much of what you say is really like a placeholder for pleasure.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, you a placeholder for pleasure until pleasure
Until you
breaks.
see pleasure and you be like, dang, this was. What is this? Man. Pleasure. Mere pleasure.
Until you see people speaking well to you, people exalting your value, people being happy to support you, till you feel what support feels like. You know, in an environment where you're unsupported, you're like, oh my goodness, these people support me. This feels wonderful. I think I can sacrifice you now.
Yeah.
You know, it's good for everyone concerned. So, but it is necessary to reach freedom. You will have to identify that you are not getting what you need. I have come to the conclusion after having worked with many, 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 many couples that people do not stay where they are not getting what they need. If you're not getting what you need, if you're not getting the attention that you need, if you're not getting the respect that you need, if you're not getting what you need, and it's true in my own life, you drift away. Like sometimes you drift away on purpose. Sometimes you gather up everything and throw it on the fireplace. Sometimes you're like, I didn't mean to drift away. I'll still do what I said, but no thank you, I don't want this anymore. Because it sometimes is not satisfying the freedom that's needed, because another person's inability to see your value extracts from you the levels of freedom that you could have with someone who did. Ounce by ounce. You know, when a person appreciates you, a person has value for you, a person speaks to you appropriately, they give you consideration, there's freedom in that. When that doesn't happen, that is the levels of enslavement that you have allowed yourself to experience. And it is my experience that people don't stay with that. Or if they do, their body may be there, but their mind might be somewhere else.
Yeah. Mine might be looking out the window, dreaming of greener pastures. Well, maybe not, you know. Maybe they're disassociating. And because
whatever it is.
if they saw them greener pastures, they'd know that there's something else that would inspire the releasing of whatever they have.
So, what does the future of money look like to you, Alex?
The future of money won't be about what we use. It'll be about who we trust. We're heading into a world where money is no longer paper. It's data. Central bank, digital currencies, programmable payments, and surveillance systems will redefine how value moves. But here's the twist. The more digital it gets, the more people will crave something real. That's why gold and silver aren't disappearing. They're becoming the anchor in a world of floating code. Money will evolve technologically, but it will always revolve around trust. And digital systems can't replicate 5,000 years of human belief in tangible value. The future of money? Digital convenience built on physical truth. The code will change, but the collateral won't. Because in every era, old or new, gold stays the final receipt.
Well, the idea is the card is freedom. So how is it that you can be free if you are not being acknowledged fully or even partially, or not being considered? How is it that freedom enters into that? Have you given yourself the freedom to be expanded through your own value of self by making sure the person next to you has value for yourself? And are you also, in exchange, giving value, or do you have the desire to value the one next to you, or does it imprison you that you've chosen someone that you cannot give value to?
Damn, that's deep. You might have to run this back, because I'm over here listening. Damn, these are questions that are really introspective and help us examine like why we feel the way we feel within relationships, especially those long relationships that we've been in. It's like, I like the last idea you shared where you're with someone and you can't even see the value anymore, but you're still there.
Yes,
It's
and
like,
out of
damn.
loyalty or out of having given your word or taken a vow, it's like I took a vow. I have to be married to you
Yeah, I
forever.
said death, but damn, I got a lot of life.
Yeah, but maybe that died.
Maybe it did.
Maybe we need to put you on the
Throw that
altar.
on cremation. That's right.
The reality is that we owe ourselves and we owe Creator the acknowledgement that we are divine beings and should receive a divine experience in life, but we are the responsible party for making sure that happens, not necessarily our parents, siblings, or lovers. It's not really up to them. They don't owe us anything. We owe ourselves the experience we're supposed to have. And if we don't do it, what a disrespect to life itself.
See, that's a big deal right there, because so many of us walk around feeling like you owe me. Why are you not doing enough?
Yeah.
And I know you got to say, you probably just thought it right now. Oh, I'm not doing enough for you.
Oh, you mean
You,
you mean I was born and came here and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do for you?
I told you. Told you it was there.
Yeah, it's really that thing of each of us is the responsible party in our own freedom, in our own happiness. And if you can find happiness in the circumstance, good. Get a giggle. It's all good. But if you find that you need another circumstance in which to grow, then there is no sacrifice, truly. There is only expansion. And with expansion may come more bills and more responsibility, or there may come an opportunity for you to move into a circumstance where it's just all jammy, it's all good. It could happen like that. But it depends on what you can see. Do you see yourself being respected? Do you see yourself being people believing what you say? Do you see that people think you're a liar? They go, oh, I don't believe you. Then that means I think you're a liar. Does that feel good? Do you want to live in an environment where people don't believe the things you say? Do you want to live in an environment where they don't consider your thoughts on a thing? Where they're already predetermined towards a certain level of thinking about what women are or what things are? Or is it that they are fearful and you are not? And how congruent is that? Can you carry them around on your back? When the revolution comes, can you put them on your back?
Look, people can barely walk with a backpack nowadays.
So, I mean, these
Not
are
carrying
all
nobody.
things that we have to decide. Are you built for that? Are you built for the disrespect? Are you built for the disbelief? Are you built for the non-consideration? And that's where you're going to stay forever?
In a reality usually people who are listening to our podcast are people who are pursuing a light lifestyle. And it's light in every sense of the word, because carrying or being in those type of relationships has such a weight to it. But I see, we always the one with the scissors. And we like, nah, I can't. Or, I know we've been using the burn it up at the altar analogy, but that's what it looked like to me in this moment where we could cut the tether. We could cut the cord or the attachment to whatever the thing is that is keeping us from being lighter.
It's funny because I have a lifetime where I stayed too long at the party. More than once.
And you looking at your watch like 15 more minutes. One more drink. One more song.
So I see the benefit. I know what it feels like to have loyalty to something that's not loyal to you. I know what that feels like. Like, I'm loyal to the idea of this relationship. But what you get back is something different. And it's okay. It's like, don't get mad.
Yeah, how do people best do it? Because you're speaking some real stuff. People are dealing with this daily.
It's true. The idea would be to get quiet, to go into the silence, to see what could life be like. What is the best case? What's the best thing that could happen to me? What is the very best thing that could happen to me if I were not in this field of energy that doesn't support me? What could happen? Could it be great? Could it be wonderful? Could I meet new people? Would they like me? Would I like them? Could I make a life that would be acceptable for me?
You know, it's so fascinating. As you go through that process, I'm seeing how just bringing attention to a different reality is already, you're pulling out the matches, you're getting your kerosene, you're already in process, just allowing yourself the potentiality to see something new.
I'm not even burning it up until I'm jumping out the driveway and throwing the Molotov cocktail.
Yeah.
I'm not
Sure,
even,
damn sure got them ingredients. Get all the parts you need.
yeah, not trying to burn up something that is not me. I'm trying to burn myself to the core of the part of me that loves me enough. What is the part of me that loves me enough to give me what I need for me?
Yeah.
It's not about another person.
So this goes, it's so many times in this conversation that I could see the call back to our live stream earlier from today, which it was another card pull. The problem is us, the solution is us, be the change. And that is the solution. And yeah, I can see where in these moments there's this weight within us of how it does deal with them, or what will they think, or you know, the weight of doing what's best for your soul, you know, and how that's really true love for self, but you know, there's that conflict.
You're making me think. It's like, oh, you don't love me anymore. Like, I discovered I love me.
Oh, well, now you love you now, and like, what about me? So there's the conflict. How does a person respond to you loving you?
It really isn't, because once you get to, I needed to do that because there was a place open for that. There was a job.
Yeah, it was perfect. You had all the credentials. You're like, damn, this was meant for me.
Yes, the job that was open for giving me love was open to me because nobody else filled that spot. So
damn, keep going.
I was qualified.
Yeah, and you weren't.
No, Tarvars.
All right. This ain't got nothing to do with them. That's right. Nothing to do with the hologram. This is self.
So once you decide that you are capable of loving yourself enough to do whatever the next step is, whatever that looks like, whether you're leaving college or leaving a marriage or walking away from your brothers and sisters or your roommates or whatever it is, once you decide, and you're always looking, what is the best thing that can happen? Forget looking at the worst thing. The world will show you that. You don't have to manufacture
For
that.
real.
You don't have to. You don't have to, and if the other person will certainly tell you. So
yeah, all the worst things.
you are encouraged to plan, proceed at full force into the freedom that comes from love of self. Once you love self, you might be able to respond back to that old situation in a new way, or you might move on to new situations where that's a memory that doesn't exist anymore. It is not about that. That is only the reflection of how you feel about you. You look at a person who is not giving you consideration, that's you not giving you consideration. So when you start loving yourself, you have solved the problem. You have solved the problem within you that allowed that projection to be so. It is not about them. Oh, what will they think? They'll think the thing I think they're going to think. Because I'm the projector of the idea. Will they be angry with me? If you think they'll be angry with you, it may be that they'll be angry with you. If you don't care if they're angry with you, it's unlikely that you will care if they're angry with you.
That's right there. I'll take D. Don't care that they'll be angry.
Yeah, so it's really about having the clarity of how the universe works, how energy works, what we allow and permit, and are we calling for the best possible outcome for ourselves? Because the other person will go get their best possible outcome because maybe you were that for them. So they may have practice already. So I'm not worried about you because I know I was the best possible thing for you. So I'm not worried. I know you know how to find that.
Right, you did real good for yourself. Let's acknowledge that.
We had a deal until we
Yeah.
didn't.
This is such a good flip on the frequency to help people
Yes.
release the weight and the burden from, again, making choices that serves life, supports life.
Yeah, don't be addicted to that addiction of hurting yourself. Be addicted to making yourself feel good about you and sit quietly and see what does the next step look like. You don't even have to have the next step. You could go 10 steps ahead and just know you're going to have to walk towards them, and it's okay.
Yeah.
If it feels better. But if you're sitting in a space where you are imprisoned and enslaved because you are not acknowledged and not appreciated, remove yourself. Let the cards fall where they fall. Oh, the glass broke. Sweep up the pieces. It's okay. It's your universe. You made the glass break. You can make the glass whole. You can make everything work for you. It's your universe. If you look around where you are right now, you have all the things you ever thought you wanted. Whatever meant something to you is what you have. Let this mean something to you so you can have it. Have your freedom. Call for freedom. Call for truth. Be the best thing in your experience. Is it time for us to wrap up?
It's been time. I've been thinking like, okay, I was supposed to set the timer. We're going to go 20 minutes. It's longer than 20 minutes, but we got one last message. So for those who are tuning in, if you want to work with us, specifically get yourself a call for the True Divination card deck. And if you like these card pulls, you can do these for yourself daily. You can visit the link below. And then also, if you want to work with us, you can book a free discovery call, 30-minute session to share with us where you are on your path and how we can be of support and service to your evolutionary process with becoming light. And also, speaking of light, if you'd like to join Light Body, active Light Body movement, where we are in a group setting activating the light body, because we're talking a lot about the light body via these cards. Every first, second, third, and fourth Sunday, we are together. $45 a month. Get you some light, group activity, cultivation, classes, activations. Link is in the description.
That was very good and very quick.
Yeah, we went over 20 minutes.
We thank you for joining us. We give you the greetings of Inlakesh and Veritas with honor, respect, gratitude, integrity, discipline, and action. Thank you.